Welcome to the Growing People Podcast. I'm John Losey, and today we have a special guest. Jarrod Murrieta is a director at a large insurance organization in the United States. So, Jarrod, welcome to Growing People.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be here.
Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with coaching and what it's meant to you and your career?
Yeah. So my experience with coaching might be the biggest core fundamental change to how I thought about leadership in my 10 years in this industry. So it's a big statement to start with, but I walked in and was first introduced to coaching, and it was this magical piece about actually feeling heard, right? And then watching people create their own momentum to get to where they want to be, which is simultaneously where you want them to be, and you not having to do all of it yourself, right? And because that's exhausting and it's not sustainable, right? You might be able to replicate it in a small instance, in a small scenario, maybe even a little bit longer if it's a smaller group, but it's just not sustainable. So for me, it opened my eyes to something I already believed in, connecting with human beings, being a good thought partner, but then we watch people create their own momentum, right? So for me, that was kind of the power of coaching. The way it's influenced my career, I think, was I was a really young manager running a group of about 50 people when I first got introduced to it. And I was right at that tipping point where we had achieved a lot of really good success, but a lot of it was a byproduct of was needed, right? So some of it was just a product of, we brought in a good change. Obviously I cared about my people. And so we'd seen the success from there, but we were looking for that next level of how do you build a culture that's going to sustain itself? And how do you build leaders who then, when you're taken out of the equation, can sustain the success there? And that was where coaching opened the door for me, because it gave me insight to developing direct reports, both of which are now managers elsewhere at the time. So the two that I think we were working with most closely at the time. And we're seeing a situation now in that office where they've continued to see success, and I haven't been there in 5 years. And that's really because we started to put in this piece of, we know how to solve these problems with a model. It really doesn't matter what model it is, but a model that gave us the ability to have a conversation, to build some commitment around what we wanted to accomplish, get to that accurately, and then the momentum was all those that wanted to improve, instead of being told to, I wanted to. And it's such a different world. I think Fred Harburg said in his book, when we talked about coaching, right? So Fred says, without a compelling destination, your frame is meaningless, right? So without knowing where you want to go and it meaning something to you, it's all just a lot of effort that isn't really going to produce a whole lot of outcome. And so for me, when you go back to, when you care about your people because you care about your customers, you can find a compelling destination that they're willing to buy into to get to where you want them to be and where they want to be simultaneously.
Yeah, I want to talk more with you about that. So we're going to have you come on, and we'll do a deep dive into coaching, how you see it, how you've done it, and maybe get some good stories about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly on it. But that's all we have time for right now. Jarrod, thank you so much for carving out a little time to talk to us all about why you lead.
I appreciate you having me here, John. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so until next time, thanks a lot, Jay.
Bye, guys.